is a lo-fi lesson. I'm going to cover something real quick, simple that you can add that'll maybe spice up what you're doing. In this case, it's going to be like this much chromaticism, which just means notes that are half steps apart. So, like in most scales, like you have different kinds of scales. You have major scale, which is what we were kind of working out of there, the B major scale. That's a B major scale. If you break it down, you know, then you have like minor scales that are you know, really just using those same notes as the, you know, like the G sharp minor scale is using the same notes as the B major scale. It's just kind of starting and ending on a different note. Anyway, all we're really going to do here is when you're soloing over something, when you're playing a melody and making stuff up, there's little rules and guidelines, but ultimately what makes things musical a lot of the times is the notes that aren't really part of the scale. When I learned how to play guitar, I remember hearing, if you hit a bad note, just hit it again, except louder. And then I think certainly, like our political climate has shown, if you just say something over and over, eventually everybody gets used to it, and some people will even say that it sounds really good. So this note, that note's not in that scale, but you can play it if you do it kind of, you play it as what you call a passing tone, so you just don't linger on it too long. So you've got that root there, and then the second note of the scale. So you got root, 2. If you play that note in between, a minor second, or, you know, especially if you play it as triplets, that's like, you immediately sound like Jerry Garcia. I liked Jerry Garcia's playing style before I liked the Grateful Dead. I've grown to love the Grateful Dead, but I remember when I realized like that was kind of what he was doing. He was doing like a lot of those little chromatic things. I really like how that sounds, and I do that all the time when I'm playing it. It's just something real simple you can do. But if you're using it in a major scale, what you would do is you can go root, minor second, second. Those ones are real fun to kind of, you know, just don't linger on the middle note there. And then you can do the same thing with the 5th up to the 6th. And that one, it sounds more familiar because that's your blue, you know, that's like one of those, that's the flat. No, it's not. I'm talking myself out of this. But it gives you that same vibe. You know what I mean? So that's something you can add. Just try it out. Get a 2-chord progression. That one's just B, E, B, E. This is just like, this is how Sugar Ray goes. So if you do one of those and then you follow through the scale up above it, you get a good sense of tension and release because you've done this thing that's really closed, you know, tight notes. One of them which isn't in the scale, and then you kind of settle back into the scale and you feel more comfortable immediately. It's just a quick, simple trick. So and you can do it with any of the notes really. Like just try out, you know, those ones are pretty safe and they sound good, especially over like a majory thing like that B to E thing. But just try out all the notes. There's not wrong notes. It's just, you know, culturally ingrained norms. and you can break those however you want. It's your music. You can't play it wrong. Um, so, yeah, just try out a little chromaticism. If everybody likes this, I'll do something else next week. All right. See y'all.